Hi everyone, back to our YouTube channel. It's Chris back with a match preview for Newcastle United's upcoming game this weekend against Southampton down at St Mary's. 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. You couldn't ask for a better game after Newcastle stunk out St James's Park against another South Coast team in Bournemouth last weekend, getting smashed 4-1 at home. We need to shake away that game. This is the best game you could ask for coming up against the Premier League whipping boys, arguably one of the worst teams the Premier League has ever seen, in the shape of Southampton. Please don't click that if we get beat. My God, I hope that doesn't happen. But we're going to stop right into this now, talk about how we think the lads are going to line up, talk about the game itself, some key players to look at from our side, who we think might make the difference, hopefully win the game, and obviously players to watch out for Southampton. If that's the kind of thing you guys like, smash subscribe, help get us to that next milestone. We're getting close to 10K. We're over 9,600 now. So we're getting there. We're closing on those last few hundred subs. Share the channel. It's all free content. If you want to be a member, you can be and support the channel underneath there as well. Click whichever one suits you best. So let's get stuck in then. As I said, this is the best game Newcastle could hope for after a rotten performance against Bournemouth last weekend at St James's Park. And it's very un-Newcastle-like over the last few months for us to put in a performance like that. It could just be a bad day at the office, an off day really for Newcastle United. But going into this game against the Premier League whipping boys from Southampton, and just to let you know, they have lost 5 of their last 6 Premier League games, and we have won 5 of our last 6 Premier League games, only losing that one against Bournemouth. Other than that, we were on a massive winning streak. Southampton, for the record, have only won 1 fucking game all season, and that was back against Everton in October, where I think anyone could have beat Everton there. So just to let you know, Premier League table, Southampton are sitting rock bottom on 6 fucking points from 22 games. They are on schedule to be the worst team statistically that's ever been in the Premier League. They've won 1 game, drew 3 and lost 18. They've scored 15 goals and shipped 50 goals. So they've got a minus 35 goal difference. So if Newcastle United can't beat these useless bastards, then they might as well just pack it up and go home. So we'll get stuck in. This is how I think we're going to line up in the game. No surprise for the lineup there. We're going to put Martin Dubravka back in goal. Nick Pope is still out. I think he's just back on the grass. Hopefully be coming back soon. I think he'll go with Tino Livramento at right back. I don't think he'll bring Trips in for this, even though Tino had a shocker last week. This will be his former team. So I think Tino will start the game. This is where I think he'll make the change. I think he'll rest Botman, and I think he'll go with Cher and Dan Burn as the centre-halves. Lewis Hall in at left back. Then the midfield 3, he won't change anything at all, regardless of the fact that some of the midfield weren't great last weekend, and Joe Linton was going around trying to half everybody on the pitch. I think he'll just stick with that power 3 of Tonali in the holding role, then Joe Linton and Bruno Guimaraes. In the front 3 will be Anthony Gordon, Alexander Isak, and Jacob Murphy. So that's a strong team from Newcastle United. The bench, on the other hand, is something that I'm not too sure about. You know, last weekend we looked at the bench, and I went through it player by player. You know, you had 2 over 30 defenders, you know, put one in the starting lineup there in the shape of Fabian Schär. You had a winger that were trying to sell. I mean, Miggy Almiron's still in the pictures of the training videos, so I don't know what the hell's going on there. Of course, he has to train. He's obviously not going to America yet because Harvey Barnes is still injured. I don't know whether he'll be in the matchday squad. You've got Vlachodimos. Nobody wants to play him. Don't know why he's even at the football club, to be honest with you. It's all weird, very, very weird. And then you've got Will Asula, who, again, is very, very raw. And then you've got Lloyd Kelly, who's even subject to transfer talk as well. So very, very weird, very weak bench for Newcastle United. However, I do think that starting lineup should be more than capable of dealing with a Southampton team that's completely devoid of confidence. It's just dreadful this season, absolutely terrible. Wide open as Sharon Stone's legs at the back, can't get going in midfield, can't finish their dinner up front at all, regardless of having a couple of quite handy centre forwards, I think, for championship level, but can't cut the mustard in the Premier League. I mean, looking at their last game that they played, very, very unlucky, 3-2 against high-flying Nottingham Forest as well, who are an excellent side this season, absolutely brilliant side, to be fair. And certain Elliot Anderson got his first Premier League goal in that game as well. It was a cracker. But looking at the Southampton team in that game, had Cameron Archer and Adam Armstrong, former Newcastle player, up front. I like Adam Armstrong. He's quite quick. He's got a bit of speed. He's got quick feet. He can finish, but I don't think he can finish at this level. That's probably why Rafa got rid of him. Good championship striker, but I just don't think he can cut the mustard in the Premiership. Same with Cameron Archer as well. Flat to deceive, good at lower league level, but not quite here at all. You've got Big John Aribo in midfield who can pop up with goals and get stuck in, but I think our midfield would be way too much for him, and Downs in midfield. You've got Walker Peters, who's playing as a wing back there, with Sugawara on the other side, and then they've got a back 3 that had Bree, that had Harewood, and then they had Benderek as well. Obviously, Harewood was ex-Manchester City player, wasn't he, as well? Very highly thought of. Aaron Ramsdale in goal, again, is a bit crazy as a goalkeeper, can be very suspect, but he's a doubt for this game as well. So I'm not entirely sure whether he'll actually start the game or whether maybe Alex McCarthy will get put back into the sticks. Ryan Fraser, ironically enough, was an unused substitute, the wee man, in the last Southampton game. Will he come on in this game? Will he do anything? I hope not, because that would just be a fucking nightmare. But the big injury blows for Southampton is Tyler Dibbling, a Newcastle United target. Really talented winger, very quick, very tricky, very dangerous. He looks like he's out of this game. And obviously Ramsdale is a doubt as well. And so is Sulemana, who came off the bench for Cameron Archer at the weekend, is also a doubt as well. But they're not a good team, Southampton. They really, really are. And that's not me being mean. The only good thing they've done is got rid of that complete wank, Brenton Diaz, if you remember the Fabian Schär ridiculous headbutt red card in the opening day fixture, the draw at St James's Park. And then these shithouses decided to crow as loud as they could. Cue every single week Newcastle fans just megging him for being dog shit, because they've been beaten more than an egg on a fucking all-day breakfast. They'd absolutely smashed week in, week out. It was only a turgid Everton team that they managed to beat at home as well. So Newcastle United really should steamroll this team. Absolutely, we should have way too much pace, way too much quality in the middle of the park, and we should be strong at the back to deal with the likes of Armstrong and Archer's runs, who really run into nothing, run into no space. I do feel a bit sorry for Armstrong sometimes, because I think he is a decent player. I felt really sorry for him. He had to hand over the shirt when the fan guessed it was a 5-0 defeat in a couple of fixtures ago. That was awful, by the way. But going back to them as a team, no game in the Premier League is an easy game, not to sound like anyhow there, but this team really should be the easiest fixture of the season for Newcastle to absolutely batter these. And we need that to get back to winning ways. It's all been a little bit, I wouldn't say doomy, gloomy, but there's been a malaise in the transfer market. We're talking about more players going out and coming in, and some of the fans are starting to get a bit rattled about it. I'm getting rattled about it. I'm getting impatient about it. You end up having conversations with people who just doesn't matter what happens or what they do. Paul Mitchell can do no wrong. Peter Silverstone can do no wrong. Darren Eales can do no wrong. They can't ever be criticised or questioned. And I don't believe that. I think anyone in a football club can be criticised, questioned, especially when there's radio silence and you're not telling the fans what you're doing or what you're not doing in a transfer market. Of course, you don't want them to come out and tell everybody what the fucking targets are, but just come out and say, we're working hard, we're working on a few things, we've got a few irons in the fire, something like that, just to appease us. But it doesn't sound like that's going to happen at all. And I've got serious doubts that Newcastle are going to add to this squad in this transfer market. And I think that's a massive gamble, a really bad gamble, because if we get a couple of injuries, we're in big trouble. But this fixture, I think we're safe enough in this fixture. I think we'll have enough to get the job done. And I don't normally go really confident in games like this, but I'm going to go for a 4-0 victory for Newcastle United in this game. I think the lads will have a rocket up their arse midweek from Eddie Howe. They'll not want that Bournemouth game to become more than just a one-off blip. I think they'll be dying to improve on that fixture last weekend, and that result last weekend. I think Isak will be looking to get back on the goal train. Bruno, Joe Linton and Tonali will want to get a hold of this game and fucking sort it out without Tyler Dibbling causing them an attacking threat, being weak at the back, being open at the back. I really do think that we've got a real good chance to have a goal fest here. And that's what Newcastle need for me. Get back on it, get back in the goal fest, get back into the Newcastle that we know and love for the last few months, just smashing teams and going straight after them. I mean, the worst thing that could have happened to us was Manchester City getting their mojo back, which looks like they have now. So we're level on points with Manchester City going into this fixture. We still got a really good chance of getting into those Champions League positions, and we need to be winning fixtures like this and winning them comfortably, I think, for confidence and goal difference. But let us know in the comments below what you guys think about the Southampton game. Am I being too cocky? Do you think this is going to be a banana skin, or do you think we should and probably will smash the Saints right off the face of the fucking map at the weekend and hopefully send them one step closer to the championship? Because you were too cocky, Southampton, when you came up. Too cocky. You shouldn't be like that. It was ridiculous the way you were behaving on that opening day fixture, and you got what's coming to you. So hopefully Newcastle will remember that opening day fixture and take it out on these motherfuckers at the weekend. But let us know in the comments below what you guys think. I'll be back with a live post-match analysis, and I really hope the Southampton fans aren't making me eat my words I've just said in this preview. But I'm confident, the lads should be confident. We're a far superior side. We're 6th in the table. We've got more goals than one player, and they've got fucking points this season. So we should annihilate this team at the weekend. Be ruthless, go for the throat, and keep going until there's nothing left of the Saints, but a pile of ash on the pitch at St Mary's. So let us know in the comments below, guys. Like and subscribe. Come and join me for the live post-match reaction as well. Hopefully Newcastle have got the job done. We're back in the Champions League hunt as well. And you never know, maybe before this month's out, we might get a couple of signings. I doubt it, but let's wait and see. Keep it evermore, guys. Have a belter. We'll see you later. Cheers.